We are currently living in Earth's last cycle. Many people do not believe that we are living in Earth's last cycle and that this Earth system was pre-set up with a set end time. And that is what I am here to teach. I am a prophet that was raised up at this last particular point in hour to teach the masses that we are currently living in Earth's last cycle. And to prove that to you, let me teach you a little bit about the mathematics of this system. As I stated in previous videos, we have a grid system. The grid system is set up with 196 squares, and this is a Lycro number that is not palindromic, which means that it cannot be reversed. It can only move forward. And most people don't understand that time is not linear. Yes, we get up, we move forward, but we are not moving forward in a straight line. We are moving in a figure eight. And we are all going through these cycles. And the cycles are within one complete 360-degree circle. This is what you call the snake eating its tail, Ouroboros, which is basically us doing a cyclical revolution within a 360-degree circle. The figure eight, or this eight loop that we go through, is basically a circle, one circle, complete revolution of a lifetime, and then going through the moon machine, coming back out on the other side, or squeezing through this middle portion of the hourglass or the figure eight into another time loop to have another life. However, this is how the life cycle works. So you see this hourglass. The sand represents people or souls going through reincarnation through the moon machine, which we were all set up within this system to pass away within the skin suit. There are chemicals in the air that cause us to regress and eventually die. These are the chemicals that are set up within the Ouroboros model. You're talking about boron, you're talking about all these different chemical elements that make us regress, get older, and pass away, because this is a temporary system. It was never meant to be forever. And eventually, this very tight technical system of a machinery with alloy balls for the star system that rotate, a moon machine that recycles souls, and a sun, which is the main component of this system, was not set to be forever. It has a lifespan, and eventually the sun's energy will start to give out. That is just the natural order of things. We are moving, we're using energy here. We are part of that system. We are photon light. And as so many things change and move within this system, eventually we're going to drain that energy from the sun, and the sun is going to need to go out. Now, what happens at this point is that we're supposed to have the birth of the man-child to spark a new sun. There is simply no way around this process. And a lot of people are spending a lot of time, money, and resources trying to figure out how they can save the system. Well, I can tell you that there's no way to do it other than to allow the reset to happen, which means you bring a new photon light being into the system that does not calculate into the mathematics, so that he can squeeze the math and cause the burst of energy that's going to spark or re-spark the sun. Unfortunately, what that means for many is that this is going to be a threshold or a door that many will not be able to pass across. And what that means is a light judgment via a X-class solar flare. If you are not a match for this light, then you won't be able to go past that point. And this is where we are. There's nothing that you can do in terms of placing a fake sun. You can't escape the system because it's closed. We are literally here, and we're all in this together to experience this reset. And determining what side you land on is going to be the big factor, whether or not you are an energetic match for the light or the solar flash. It's all a scientific technicality, okay? And this is framed as a judgment because lower vibratory frequencies, meaning that you have all of these syntax errors within your light body, you will not be able to pass the threshold of light, which is the solar flare. So my job here is to prepare everyone and to tell you what it is that you need to do, which is confess the things that you have done wrong to others, as well as forgive the things that others have done to you, so that you are not vibrating at a lower frequency when this happens. Now, we do have a small window of time before this particular reset happens, but the message that I am teaching is going to need to spread throughout the world, so everyone has a chance to understand and know what is coming, versus being convoluted with religion, news media, lies, and fictitious stories. It's time to cut through the truth of the matter and get to the bottom of the fact that we are in Earth's last cycle. This is it. Our sun is no longer going to be operational, and we can't just allow it to phase out or fizzle out on its own. So this is where the birth of this child comes in, that's going to reset the system. Now, if you look at the 196 squares, basically you're looking at two inverted pyramids. Two inverted pyramids are actually the shape of two sevens, and this is why the number 77 is so important within this time matrix. 7 is the scythe energy, which is kind of a reaping energy, or it's a kind of death energy that ends time. It's going to be the sickle that reaps or separates the wheat from the tares. It is going to end time because it is purposed that way. Okay, so this is how we get out of the loop, and we are in this final stretch where we've all been living these quantum life cycles within a much larger circle, a much larger 360-degree experience. And if you look at the two sevens equal 14. 7 plus 7 is 14. 196 squares divided by 14 is 14 because it is a square number. 1 plus 4 equals 5, which 5 is where we are headed. We are headed to the fifth dimension. And the only way for us to get to the fifth dimension is for this 7-7 reaping energy to happen. And how this happens is the two main energies will connect, and they are the ones that are going to birth the man-child. As depicted in Revelations 11, these two witnesses, the woman of Revelations 12 who has the moon at her feet, or the moon machine at her feet, and she gives birth to this child that is to rule the nations with a rod of iron, because his energy never existed within the realm. So once his photon light comes into the realm, this is when we will experience the solar flash, and it is necessary. Okay, if this man-child is not born, the sun itself still fizzles out. Okay, so we are in the absolute last life cycle. You have people that are trying to figure out, okay, how can we survive this? They're making Faraday cages. They are trying to break through the firmament. They're trying to get out of here. I'm here to tell you there's no possible way to do any of that without completely destroying the system in and of itself. And furthermore, it's set up with all of these fail safes that it is virtually impossible for you to escape this threshold. This system was never meant to be perpetual. Okay, we are in a circle or a loop. This is a cyclical time mapping. Okay, and it is done within this tesseract of time, and the sun cycle and the moon cycle are going in an 8 motion. Okay, and the 8 again is also 2 sevens. Okay, and it's also 2 inverted pyramids, and it's also 2 inverted pyramids are 22 divided by 7, which at the center is pi, which is 3.14, which is an irrational number, which represents the possibilities within each life cycle. As you're being reborn through the moon machine, you have an unlimited amount of opportunities to reincarnate and to come back into the realm. And once you reincarnate, you live a life cycle. However, we were doing these cycles all the way until the 8th cycle, and we are currently living in the 8th cycle. We had 7,000 years within this sphere. It is a technical system. It's just like with anything that is mechanical. It is not going to last forever. This is a mechanical system. It's set up with magnets. It's set up with a machine. And the sun in and of itself, even though it is a natural energy, is like a generator. And it needs a spark in order for it to restart, or else it will fizzle out on its own. So I hope you enjoyed this message. Please like, share, and subscribe, and put a comment down in the comments just to let me know what you think of this content overall. Keep shining bright. Peace, love, and light.